I'm Christine Santos, ex-corporate woman turned founder of my own boutique podcast production company. And it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the knowledge, the time, and the community to focus on growing my small but fun and exciting business. Through it all, I've had many challenges and failures and lessons learned. Today, I have so much fun helping others change lives and having the time and choices that allows me to spend more time with my family. It wasn't too long ago that this was just a someday dream. I created the Wonder Boldly podcast to give you inspiration with actionable steps to help you go after your someday dream now. If you're ready to take your days, weeks, months, life back into your own hands, or you're just curious what it means to create a business that makes an impact in a life you love, you are in the right place. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wonder Boldly, the podcast where entrepreneurial dreams become reality. I'm your host, Christine Santos, and today we're diving into a topic that many podcasters, both new and seasoned, encounter: pod fade. Why do so many podcasts start with great enthusiasm only to lose momentum and fade away? Let's explore the common reasons behind pod fade and how to prevent it from happening to your show. First, let's define it. Pod fade is the phenomenon where a podcast gradually decreases in frequency of episodes and eventually stops producing new content altogether. It's a common issue, but understanding the reasons behind it can help us avoid it. One of the primary reasons for pod fade is unrealistic expectations. Many podcasters start with high hopes, envisioning immediate success, large audiences, and the potential for monetization. When reality doesn't match these expectations, disappointments set in. Remember, like I always say, podcasting is a long game. Building a loyal listener base takes time, consistency, and patience. Another factor is lack of planning and preparation. Without a clear strategy, it's easy to run out of topics or lose direction. Take the time to plan your episodes in advance, outlining key themes and potential guests. Have a calendar that keeps you on track and motivated. Time management is another critical issue. Many podcasters underestimate the time required for recording, editing, and promoting episodes. If you have a busy schedule, podcasting can quickly become very time-consuming. If you've listened to Wonder Boldly or follow me on social media, I have many tips and hacks that can help mitigate some of the time that it takes to create your podcast. But ultimately, you have to manage your time effectively. Consider batching your recordings and setting aside dedicated time for editing and promotion. Additionally, tasks like editing, graphic designs, social marketing material can all be handed off to someone else to take care of. As you know, that is my area of expertise. So if you're needing assistance, reach out to me in my DMs on Instagram at Christine B. Santos. Or you can go to my website, christinebsantos.org, and email me there, and we can talk about the right package for you. Because you know what? Burnout is a real concern, especially for solo podcasters who you're handling everything yourself. To avoid this, it's essential to maintain a balance. Set realistic goals for your podcast, and don't be afraid to take breaks when needed. Your mental and physical health should always come first. Another reason we can run into pod fade is Maybe the initial mission of your podcast and message of your podcast has evolved over time and you're still trying to fit into that older model. Allow your podcast to evolve with you. So maybe you need to take a step back and think about what is the message now that you want to share on your podcast. I find that a lot is that people have pod fade because they've lost that passion for their original mission, for their original messaging. You always have the opportunity to evolve your podcast. So consider that when you're thinking about pod fade and how you can prevent that for your podcast. Podcasting can feel like a one-way conversation, and without feedback or interaction from listeners, it can be challenging to stay motivated. Encourage listener engagement by asking for feedback, reviews, and questions. One thing that I absolutely love about Buzzsprout, which is my host and my client's host for their podcast, is their relatively newer feature, Fan Mail. Check it out on Buzzsprout. You can actually encourage your listeners to send you a message. So I'm going to take that opportunity right now. If you're a listener here on the Wonder Boldly Show and you have feedback for me or you want to hear about something, at the top of the show notes, there's a link. It states it right there that you can click there and communicate with me. I will only know the last 4 digits of your phone number. I can't communicate back to you. But if you send me a message and give me feedback, let me know what you want to hear about, I will respond to that in an upcoming episode. And if you want me to call out the last 4 digits of your phone number, I will do that so you know that I'm speaking directly to you. If you don't want me to do that, I will not. I will only do that if you explicitly sent me that message and asked me to use your last 4 digits of your number so you know I'm speaking to you when I'm answering the question. You can send me messages right from my show notes by clicking at the top and letting me know your thoughts. And that is so exciting and I so appreciate it. Okay, getting back into it. You can also engage on social media platforms, and if you have a website, you can ask for engagement there. Monetization struggles can also contribute to pod fade. Many podcasters hope to earn revenue through sponsorships, ads, or listener support, but this does not happen overnight. Focus on creating high-quality content and building a strong, loyal listener base first. Monetization opportunities will follow as your podcast grows, and I can speak directly to this because through my podcast, I have grown my business. So I'm proof in the pudding. It takes time, but it can be done. So stick to it. So how can you avoid pod fade? Here are some actionable tips for you to consider. 1, set those realistic expectations. Understand that podcasting is a long-term commitment and success takes time. I have one client that decided to start their podcast and they produce an episode once a month. That is great. They're continuing to grow their community, grow their listeners, and producing valuable content because it fits into their business. 2, plan and prepare. Develop a clear content strategy and maintain a schedule. So important. 3, manage your time, batch recordings, outsource. Hello, I'm here to edit your podcast and help you with production, and set realistic goals. 4, engage with your listeners. If your podcasting host doesn't have something like fan mail like Buzzsprout does, it probably has something similar. If not, find a way to communicate with your listeners. In your episode, tell them how to do that. Have them engage on social media, like I said, or your website, wherever is good for you, but ask them in your episodes to do that so they know that that is how they can communicate with you. 5, Take care of yourself. Avoid burnout by taking healthy breaks. Sometimes we can overdo our podcast and we need to take a break, and that is completely fine. Make sure you're checking in with yourself and taking care of you. And focus on quality. Prioritize creating valuable, engaging content over immediate monetization. As always, thank you for tuning in to Wonder Boldly. I hope today's episode has given you some valuable insights into why pod fade happens and how to prevent it. Remember, passion is key to sustaining a successful podcast, and the fire for your passion is fueled by you taking care of yourself. If you have any questions or want to share your own experience with pod fade, please send me a message by clicking on the link at the top of my show notes. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to Wonder Boldly for more episodes on entrepreneurship, innovation, personal growth, and of course, podcasting. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries, stay curious, and continue to wonder boldly. That's it for this episode. Thank you again so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star review. It means way more than you know. Until next time, continue to wonder boldly.